A photograph from the Apollo 12 mission reveals something that shouldn't be there. Are they really on the moon? The objects reflected in their visors shouldn't exist. This particular image shows something that doesn't appear in any other official photograph. Could a single image cast doubt on humanity's greatest achievement? Some believe the moon landings never happened. In the Apollo 12 lunar module, astronauts Conrad and Bean make their final approach to a region of the moon known as the Ocean of Storms. I thought, where are we going to land? There's no place to do it. Then we waited for the waves to illuminate, which were about 5 feet away, so we could land. And I said, contact light. For Conrad and Bean, the experience of walking on another world is overwhelming. As I came down the ladder, I started to wobble a bit and then steadied myself. I thought, well, this is the moon. We're really here. This is incredible. This is science fiction, except you're living it. The astronauts spend much of the mission documenting their activities with photographs. I had spent a lot of time training to take photos on the moon. Back then, there was no autofocus, no automatic development. We had to configure them manually. We didn't want to mess anything up because we had been trained for this. Despite challenging conditions for photography and being in a completely alien environment, Bean captures images of incredible quality. But some of the images seem too good to be true. The photographs are incredible, and it's very hard to believe that such quality can be obtained using relatively primitive equipment in adverse conditions. One of Bean's photographs catches NASA's attention in a bad way. The anomaly is small but clearly visible. Conrad can be clearly seen in Bean's visor, but there's something else that definitely doesn't belong there. The single frame offers no explanation for the anomaly, but there's another record of what happened during the mission. Apollo 12 was also equipped with a color television camera. My job when I went out was to go to the camera and try to move it carefully and point it back so everyone could see. But just as it starts recording, Bean's footage cuts out, leaving no record of the anomaly's origin. Conspiracy theories claim there's something on the moon that NASA doesn't want the public to know about. It was very convenient that the camera broke down, so there would be no further images of the landing. Bean explains the video failure as a simple mistake. I'm sure they told me in training, don't point this thing at the sun, don't do it. I didn't remember that and pointed it at the sun and the camera broke down. It was a very advanced camera, but there was simple physics involved. If you point it at the sun, you're going to ruin the camera and lose the image. Without a video record, we can only speculate about the cause of the anomaly. One idea is that the confusing reflection in Bean's visor could be the command module as its orbit took it beyond the landing site. But that explanation doesn't satisfy the Apollo astronauts. It couldn't have been the module because the module was 60 miles away and didn't look that big. Conspiracy theories suggest the photograph provides evidence that NASA's lunar missions were fake. Some people believe the moon landings never occurred and were actually filmed in a movie studio. Conrad took a photo of Bean, and conspiracy theorists point out that the reflection in the visor would be proof of studio lighting. If they're really on the moon and not in a studio, why do we see objects reflected in their visors? There's supposed to be nothing there. An overhead lighting rig on a film set could explain the presence of the anomaly, but there are other theories about its origin. I don't believe that. In the 60s and 70s, the technology didn't exist to create such a convincing fake moon landing. I think it's actually lunar dust that you see on the helmet from constant walking, and also from raising and lowering the astronaut's visor. Without conclusive evidence, theories about the visor anomaly remain speculative. But the idea that NASA faked the moon landings doesn't sit well with the men who flew on the missions. My response to those who think it was all done in a studio is that I think it's kind of an insult because we've delivered knowledge, we've done wonderful things, and as far as I'm concerned, it's nonsense.